Welcome to the Enthusiast Gaming Podcast, where today we're going to be discussing vaporware, what we use to keep track of our collections. We're going to look at some different game variants. If you guys are collectors out there, we're going to show you some different variants to keep an eye out for. And we're going to wrap things up with a pulse check where we take a look at two games or sometimes systems, just depending on what we want to do, and kind of see where the market is with those two items, just to get a taste. With me, as always, my good friend Wes. Wes, how you doing?
I'm good. What's going on?
I'm good too, man. Can't complain. Can't complain. Happy to be here talking about games. Real quick, guys, before we get started, please consider supporting us over on Patreon, patreon.com/nerdenthusiast. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. You can get ad-free access starting at the $5 tier, and there's exclusive content every month from a variety of our creators. Also, if you haven't checked out other content, we cover poker, we cover toys, collectibles, wrestling, movies, music, all sorts of things. So please check out everything at enthusiast.com. You can see everything we're covering over there. All right, Wes. So first up, we're going to be discussing vaporware. And obviously these are titles that basically, they were real at some point, but they're not real anymore. I mean, they don't exist in a complete final form. They were never released. You might be able to see like pictures or, there might be like existing demos or stuff out there, but these games never came to market is ultimately what vaporware is, correct?
Correct.
All right. So we came up with a list of probably, I don't know, 5 to 10, somewhere in the middle. I don't know. Wes, where would you like to begin, sir?
Let's start with a game that they showed in the magazines for at least a year, 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. Starcraft Ghost.
Oh, yeah.
Man, from the pictures, Starcraft Ghost looked great.
Yeah, it looked cool. I mean, everybody was super stoked on it. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
it never came to be. I do remember, Wes and I used to work at GameStop/EB Games, and I know their pre-orders were going on for that for like ever. Like people had pre-orders down, and it was like that pre-order's like 3 years old. That game never came out. Eventually, they finally canceled it, but it took forever.
Forever. It did. It did. And every month we get in the magazines, we get another preview.
Mm-hmm.
It was very ambitious. It was a stealth type of shooter set in the world of StarCraft.
Yeah.
Oh man, it had a female lead, if I remember correctly. They kept showing the girl with the red hair in the pictures, and
I don't remember all that well, so I'm going to take your word on it. I have no idea. It's been a good decade or two, or maybe 3 at this point. I have no idea. I have no sense of
this
time anymore.
it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
But
Yeah,
yeah, that
man.
was
I know. I was excited. I was super excited. I think everybody was super excited for it.
not me. I don't care about StarCraft, so
Oh,
it's just this being a shooter or something, it might be more interesting to me. But I didn't
okay.
care. I didn't pre-order it. Had no intention on buying it anyway, so this didn't affect me at all. But I know people love StarCraft. I understand it's a big thing.
Yeah, like I said, it basically the hype they were building surrounding this game. It was off the charts, and then we never got it.
Nope. What we did get is sort of a vertical slice, or like it wasn't really a demo. I don't know how many stages it was. We got I guess a leaked release of a Castlevania game that was supposed to come out on Dreamcast. This was Castlevania Resurrection, and this only came out within the past few years. I would say within the past like 3 to
Mm-hmm.
4 years this was released. Wes, did you play this? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about. I remember the game. Again, it was previewed in all the gaming magazines back then. It was supposed to be shown at E3 for the Dreamcast. It was a 3D version of Castlevania, and I actually got a chance to play it not too long ago, and
Nice.
I see why they canceled it.
No.
it was horrible.
Well, I guess that's better that they just canceled it then. Yeah, how big was it? Like, was it like what was it
It
like?
was it was a level. It
It was a
was it
level.
was it was a level. It was like a section of a town. You play the main character was a female. She was a Belmont, and she had her whip. But the camera was horrible. The controls were horrible. The hit detection was horrible. But again, I understand it was a demo and it was supposed to be shown at E3, and I can't believe they were making an attempt to show this at E3.
I wonder if they pulled it and like they didn't it end up showing it at all at E3. I have no idea. I wonder the history about that.
Mm. Yeah, I don't remember because I went to E3 several years in a row. I don't remember seeing it there
Yeah,
unless it was like one of those behind closed doors where only like media people got a chance to check it out.
possibly. It's definitely possible. But either way, you can check that out now. I think you can download it on PC and stuff. There's ways for you to play that thing if you decide to waste your time. That's one way you could do it, I suppose.
But just like Starcraft Ghost, it was the magazine showed this picture, a 3D Castlevania, and especially for Dreamcast, Dreamcast lovers were super excited,
Mm-hmm.
super excited.
That would have been cool. I
It
mean,
would have
if
been.
it was good, it would have been cool.
There you go.
It had a chance to be cool, and it was not. It was gonna suck, so it went away, and I'm cool with that. That's fine. What's this next one? I'm gonna let you talk about because I know very little about these games. I haven't played them. If I did, I have only played them for a very short period of time.
Oh
But
man.
I'll let you take this away now. I also am not sure if they ever officially announced this or not. I definitely heard rumors and stuff. But Wes, you said they announced it at some point, right?
We're talking about Left 4 Dead.
Left 4
Oh
Dead,
man.
Left 4 Dead
Oh,
3.
Left 4 Dead 3. Loved, loved, loved 1 and 2. Loved 1 and 2. And they after 2, they did a couple of DLC and they kept teasing 3. They kept showing a zombie hand with 3 fingers and it had Valve underneath because Valve made the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept showing the same image over and over and over again. So we like, okay, it's coming. And they said, well, we're gonna do Evolve instead.
Oh, did they make Evolve?
It
I
was
didn't know Valve made Evolve.
garbage. I think the people, I think Valve kind of disbanded.
Oh, yeah, that studio, like,
Yep.
I don't think they were owned by Valve. I think they were like in a second party sort of relationship, and
Mm-hmm.
then they span off. They did their own thing. Yeah, you're right. And that game was supposed to be terrible.
It was. It wasn't Left 4 Dead, and I mean, I was super excited. I was like, yes, okay, the people that made Left 4 Dead, yes, 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 give it to me. And they could have kept it. It was what it was.
Well, it's
But
all right, Wes. You got Back for Blood, so that makes up for it, right?
I did get Back for Blood, even though they kept teasing the zombie fingers with 3. That Left 4 Dead 3 was still coming. I Back for Blood was just as good because it was identical to Left 4 Dead. They just changed the name.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't as good as like the Left 4 Dead games, but like if you needed something to fill the void, it did the job.
That was it. I mean, you could play single player and have like bots control your other characters, or you can jump online, play with some friends, and that's how I played Left 4 Dead. It's like me and a bunch of friends would jump on and play, and it was so much fun, so much fun.
Look, one game that I wanted that should have been available to play online with my friends that just got canceled and completely left me heartbroken was Timesplitters 3.
Oh man, woo! 1 and 2 were fantastic.
Yeah, 1 and 2 were great. It's been a long time, and that team was like, that team disbanded a long time ago.
Mhm.
And then this company, Embracer Group, who I did a video about a while ago, you guys can go check out about how I told you it was like a mistake what they were doing and buying all these companies. Well, it's starting to fall apart. Nevertheless, like exactly, what I was talking about was going to be a problem. And basically, they they managed to get a lot of the team back together, and they were going to make it do Timesplitters. And that was like, oh, hell yeah, it's been only like 20 years. Like, let's get a new Timesplitters. All right, that's cool. Maybe Embracer's going to do some cool stuff. They just canceled the game and destroyed the studio. So
Oh,
the studio doesn't exist anymore. Timesplitters is gone. I mean, they could always give it to
why?
another one of their other studios. It probably was stuck in like some sort of development hell, I'm sure. But they also are in like really bad financial situations, and they probably just said it's not going to be what it once was, which is probably true. But you don't need to give it a huge budget. Like, you really don't. It's a linear first person shooter that had multiplayer also, right? So throw a few multiplayer maps in, make a single player campaign, call it a day. But I guess that was too complicated and would have cost too much money as well.
That would have been cool because then the first time Splitters came out for PS2, it was fine, but then they kind of amped it up with the second one. The second one was just so good,
Yeah,
so
and
good.
there was a third one. It was Future Perfect, but they didn't call it 3. I think this one was just going to be called Timesplitters 3, or maybe it was going to use a different subtitle. So just to
Mhm.
be clear, there was Timesplitters 1, Timesplitters 2, Future Perfect. Those 3 did come out.
Future Perfect. Wait, is that the one with the guy with the gun on the cover?
He's wearing like really small sunglasses, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, or some sort of like things in his eyes. But yeah, he's definitely holding a gun. Well, there's always somebody holding a gun on these covers.
that's
But
true too. That's true too. I'm just trying to get my cover straight.
yeah, he was like super jacked up.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was Future Perfect.
And all these games they just break our hearts, man. They tease us, and then poof, it's gone. Just like the next game on the list. And they keep teasing me, and they're still teasing me. They sent out postcards, Christmas cards with the characters. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And the game I'm talking about is Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Wes, I
They
hope you got another lifetime somewhere to pull out because that's how long you'll be waiting for that game to come out.
they keep teasing us. They keep throwing they showed images. There was like a video that showed like a demo or a cutscene. Like I said, there was one holiday they sent out Christmas cards with the characters from Beyond Good and Evil. It was like, okay, it's coming, it's coming, and we're still waiting. I don't think it's officially canceled yet, so I don't know if we can classify this as vaporware, but it's about to be.
Yeah, I don't think it's officially canceled either. I think it surpassed Duke Nukem Forever as like the longest game in development. Like, because Duke Nukem was over a decade, and this has definitely been over a decade.
Oh,
So
without a doubt, if
this
not
is probably
longer.
like yeah, this is like I think 12 years or something. So I mean that's insane. I'm sure the project got rebooted a bunch of times, but to your point, they never officially said this was canceled. But come on, like come on, just say that it's canceled and move on.
Right. Stop teasing us.
It's crazy.
Because
I,
the first game was really good. It was
you,
really good.
I picked it up on Xbox 360, like on the back and pat. I need to go back and play that. It was like $3. I was like, yeah, I'll buy this. I never got the chance to play it. I unfortunately still haven't gotten the chance to play it, but uh, I do have the HD Xbox 360 version. So when I do play it, that'll be the way that I do it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Everybody should at least experience it once, and then you'll feel how I feel, where you can't wait for a sequel. You want another one.
What system did you buy it on back in the day? Because you had your choice between Xbox, GameCube, and PS2. So which one did you grab it for?
I bought it for Xbox.
Xbox. Okay. I almost bought it for GameCube at one point. I do remember seeing it there, and it dropped to
Mm-hmm.
like $20, and I was like, I'm gonna get something else instead. But I almost picked it up on GameCube. And I probably should have. I bet you that GameCube version is probably worth the most out of those 3.
Probably because they probably did the that had like the lowest
Smallest print
print
run.
run.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got the Xbox because at the time that was the most powerful system. So like if it came out on multiple systems, I usually generated for the Xbox just because of that reason alone.
Yeah, that makes sense. I bought a lot of games on Xbox for the same reason. This was probably the biggest demo, like one of the biggest demos. It definitely in the past like 10 or 20 years, maybe of all time. PT was announced, showed off. This was a teaser for a new Silent Hill game. This was from Hideo Kojima. Obviously, we all know what happened to Kojima and Konami. That whole thing fell apart, and the game never came out. But it's still one of the scariest and most awesome demos ever. Did you ever have a chance to check out PT West?
Nope. And I'm so upset. Like when I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even hear about it until like way after the fact. And then when I went to try to go download it, it was gone.
Yeah, if you didn't get it within that period of time, it was up for a few months, but once things started falling apart between Kojima and Konami, then they started to take down the demo so it wasn't available anymore, and then if you also deleted it, you can't re-download it either. Like the only way it exists now is if you have it saved. And I think people have gone back and like found ways and got it on like PC and stuff. So I think
Mhm.
there are ways that you can still play it.
Okay.
Um, yeah, like that demo was super creepy, Wes. So if you get a chance, like even if you play it on PC, I highly recommend running through that demo.
I really like the Silent Hill games. So when I heard it was like a Silent Hill demo, and I went to look for it, and it was like, nope, sorry.
Yeah, it was similar to what Resident Evil later did with the kitchen. They had the kitchen demo, and then they, of course, the announcement came out that it was Resident Evil 7 after that.
Now this next game I never heard of.
Hmm.
I know nothing about. I know you and I were talking about it, and no clue.
So this game was called Agent, and this was on PS2. This was well, I think it eventually got announced for PS2 and PS3 came out. They said it was going to be on PS3 or whatever, but this was in development for a number of years, and it got rebooted. But the game was called Agent, and it was made by Rockstar. It was an exclusive to PlayStation. It was a big announcement at E3 one year, like, "Hey, PlayStation has this exclusive Rockstar game coming," and it was supposed to be kind of like like a James Bond, but with a Rockstar feel. Like that sounds awesome. It sounds like a really cool game. Never saw the light of day. And only recently did people start talking about this. One of the former developers gave out some information, and like they did have a playable build, and like it wasn't very good, and it got rebooted I think once, and then they tried to reboot it a third time, and like shortly after that was about to start or had just started, they canceled it before they even really started working on it.
Hmm.
But how cool would that have been, man? Like an exclusive Rockstar game on PlayStation, that would have been awesome.
And there were pictures and demos and stuff out.
There was pictures. I don't think there was ever a demo. The team made playable builds, of course, and so the
Okay.
team was playing with it. But if I remember correctly, that guy who was talking about it said the basically the direct like they needed to like rework the game. They needed to reboot it, so they started to
Mhm.
reboot a second time, and through that process, one of the Grand Theft Auto games, or maybe it was Reddit. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was like GTA 4 or something. um, Rockstar started putting all their eggs into that basket, which why would you not, right? Like, you guys are over here working on this thing that's not really working out. Let's just go finish up Grand Theft Auto and make a ton of money. And then when they went to revisit it, they just were like, this is, too much time had passed, and they're probably just like, it's not
Yeah.
worth doing this
Okay.
anymore.
Yeah, man. I got to go back and do my research because I don't remember hearing about this game, seeing anything on this game, like nothing.
Go watch the E3 video. You'll see like it was a big announcement, Wes. It was like a huge
Okay.
announcement at the time. And
I got
I
to check
couldn't
it
tell you
out.
what year it was from, but it was during like the I want to say like the end of the PS2 era, getting like, before PS3 came out.
Okay. I'll check it out.
All right, next up we got Doom 4. Doom 4 never saw the light of day, and to Wes's point about some of these games, it was probably a good thing. This was after Doom 3. They were looking to make a new Doom. Doom 3 was fine. It was okay. It wasn't the best Doom. But then we got Doom 2016, and they shuttered Doom, and like they really rebuilt this game. They started from the ground up, and like there's a bunch of interviews and stuff with them talking about making Doom 2016 and how they basically threw out Doom 4 entirely. They just canceled it all. We're like, no, we're not using this as a baseline. We're not doing anything, and they made Doom 2016 from the ground up, and questions they were asking themselves like, what is Doom? What is like why would you want to play Doom? And they started from there. And man, the way Doom 2016 starts, you can see that's all over that game. Did you
Hmm.
play 2016's Doom, right?
I don't remember which
Oh
one was that.
God,
That
Wes.
wasn't that wasn't Eternal, right?
No, it was before. It was the one before Eternal.
Was it just called Doom?
Yes,
I didn't.
might be
I
one of the
didn't.
best first-person shooters I've ever played.
But technically, wouldn't that be considered Doom 4? Or Doom 4 was something completely
They just
different?
No, Doom 4 was something completely different. Doom 4 was in the works, and that ended up getting canceled. And
Okay.
then they made Doom, which is now people call it Doom 2016, and that was like a full
2016.
reboot of Doom.
Okay.
So Doom 2016, or to your point, it's just called Doom. That game is amazing. That I mean the first there's games that start out rough and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can get through this, and you get through, and you're like, all right, that's not Doom 2016. Doom 2016 just kicks the damn door down the second like you open up the game. It's like, let's do this. Like, oh my, and it never stops. It never.
Really?
The whole game is fantastic, Wes, from front
Huh.
to back. Now,
Okay.
Eternal, I have problems with.
Hmm.
People who have listened to me for a while probably know I'm not going to go on a diatribe about my issues with Doom Eternal, but many people love Doom Eternal. I don't blame them for it. It is not for me. They fundamentally changed a core aspect of the game, and it's different.
Okay. Yeah, nah, I haven't done Eternal or Doom. I think the last Doom I actually played was 3 on 360.
If you like shooters, Wes, I'm telling you, man, top tier, easily in the top 10 shooters I've ever played in my
Okay.
life.
Okay.
Maybe
So I
top
wonder
5.
I wonder if they're ever going to go back and revisit Doom 4.
Oh god, they scrapped that thing.
And so it's done.
It's dead in
Okay.
the water. Yeah, they completely just were like, no, this isn't this isn't happening. Which is kind of funny because Doom 3 had struggles too, but what would have been Doom 4 just disappeared. Vaporware.
Vaporware. There you go.
The last piece of Vaporware hits me right in the heart. This game, I only went to 1E3, and I want to say it was during, oh my god, was it 2011? It might have been 2011. But Star Wars 1313 was all over that place. There was giant, like when you first walked into the convention center in LA, there was a giant, Star Wars thing. I think there was a video playing also. It was all over the place, Wes. And I was so stoked. This looked like an amazing Star Wars game. The game was canceled, but it looked amazing.
What kind of game was it?
It's like an action game.
Third person?
Um, yeah, hmm
Hmm.
but it was more story focused and stuff. So it kind of went off the back of what the hell were those other Star Wars games called? Force Unleashed. Sorry,
Oh,
we'll cut all that dead time out. But yeah, Force Unleashed was the one I was thinking of. It was like after those, so it was like Force Unleashed 1, Force Unleashed 2, and then I don't know if it was the same team or not. I think this was a different team that was making this, but it just looked incredible. Like everything they showed was like the Star Wars game you would have wanted. Obviously, time has passed, and we did get
mm-hmm.
a fantastic Star Wars game with Jedi Fallen Order and
Mm-hmm.
then Jedi Survivor. So I mean, we eventually got something really good from there.
Oh man, if it was in the vein of Force Unleashed, oh man, Force Unleashed, where they were so good. They were awesome games.
It was like that, but like times 10. Like,
Wow.
and it was I think there was going to be a little bit more open, not like a full open world, but I just think there
Uh-huh.
was going to be a lot more stuff to do than like the linearity of those other games.
Okay. Well, I wonder if they're going to take some elements of that because we have Star Wars Outlaws coming out. I wonder if, which is kind of open world Star Wars game. So, like I said, some of these games that we talk about as vaporware, I wonder if they take some of those ideas and just kind of hold on to them and refine them and throw them into something else. So we'll
Maybe
see.
as long as the same company is making them, because I'm sure there's like legalities. If you leave, you
Mm-hmm.
can't take those ideas with you and try to use them elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
so if those same people, well, not maybe not even the same people, but if new teams are working on similar projects, I'm sure they could probably draw something if they have like old documents, or if some of those
Yeah.
old people were still around. You know?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's just a few games we talked about, but man, there's so much vaporware out there through history of video games. It's sad.
Yeah, there's tons. So we didn't cover them all here. If you guys want to drop a comment, let us know some vaporware ones you would want us to cover in the future, and we will check that out.